I'm Jocelyn Jovan, writer and host with Black Enterprise. Finding Joy is our joint video series featuring associates who have cultivated joy through various personal and our professional experiences. Each episode will feature a Capital One associate who will showcase stories of career development, advancement, and how they're driving innovation and Black influence in the workplace. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Albert Smith, Senior Director and Head of Enterprise Diversity, Inclusion, and Belonging Enablement. Albert is here to share the meaningful DIB projects he's worked on and how Capital One's support and encouragement helps him prioritize his well-being. So tell us a little about you and what you do at Capital One.
I often like to consider myself as a collaborative, strategic, results-oriented, visionary builder and movement intellectual whose work within the professional domains are within organizational development and organizational learning and diversity and inclusion and belonging. My academic training is actually in the discipline of religion and at the intersections of Black cultural studies, at the intersections of ethics and society and critical race studies. I received my master's in theological studies degree from Vanderbilt University and my bachelor's of arts degree from Fisk University. My high school diploma comes from the Piney Woods School, one of 3 remaining Black boarding schools in the US, and I am a proud graduate of Piney Woods. As it relates to my capacity here at Capital One, I had the Associate and Enterprise Enablement function at Capital One. And what that really entails is this opportunity to create the conditions for associate belonging and associate engagement. And in this role, I leveraged my professional and academic expertise to help leaders and associates alike transform Capital One's equity commitments into results.
I'm sorry, I can listen to you talk all day. I love your background and I see how you've gotten yourself to where you are today. So tell us more about how you find joy in and out of the workplace.
Oh, what a great question. And what immediately pops into my mind is my 3-year-old Black standard poodle. I find joy in Barrington making unannounced cameos on Zoom, right? Like that just brings me so much delight. I also find joy in, fine food and fine wine and fine art and fine fragrance. I found joy this morning in the rhythmic and soothing sound of the train chugging along on the tracks, right? I find joy in working out and people watching and shopping and dreaming. I find joy in my advocacy for the disinherited, for the disavowed, for the disenfranchised, for those who are furlonged and those who are forgotten. I find joy in being in community and being in community with my folks and being in community with those individuals who are different, who may have grown up on the opposite side of the tracks, who may be politically and ideologically different than I, who may, come from a different socioeconomic background. I find all kinds of joy in those aforementioned experiences. But when I really drill down, what I find the greatest amount of joy in is in the the mundanities of life, right? The simple mundanity of life, which is sitting. And what sitting really means for me is an opportunity to have greater clarity. And what clarity does is it helps me to heal and to transform. When I sit, I'm actually engaged in a conscious act of resistance where I choose to select the silence over the noise, the calm over the adventurous and the spontaneous, the inaction over the busyness, the harmony over the frenzy, and balance over agitation. And in this vein, sitting, it actually becomes a radical act of self-love and self-care.
And you just spread that to me in that beautiful poem. Like it was just so poetic to me, just hearing that, loaded answer. You did mention working out, and, I did hear that you have an early start to your day. Tell me, how does a 3 a.m. trip to the gym set you up for a joyful and successful day?
It is really in the city, right? Like the 3 a.m. commute to the gym in the morning it's truly one of my day's greatest pleasures because it provides me with the opportunity to internally focus on my mind and my body before actually lifting. When I think about it, there's something actually magical and even holy, I would dare say, about waking up and soaking in the peace and the quiet of early mornings. I feel a deep sense of body, soul, and spirit connection during this time.
Well, I don't know if I can wake up at 3 a.m., but I'm going to try. You just inspired me. For sure, you inspired me to try just from how you described it. I need that. I need that at the start of my day. So, you've talked a lot about just even self-care. Why is it important to invest in yourself, especially in the context of helping others?
Well, I'm a firm believer that when you invest in yourself, that others profit. I go back to the sitting because the sitting is really the metaphor that I'm working with here. Because in the sitting, I become more centered, right? I develop that deeper understanding of my true self. And in so doing, I am made whole. I'm improved, right? There is definitely a spike in my ability to problem solve when I invest in myself and sit still and calm, right? And get into my body. As I mentioned, there's better mental health outcomes, mental clarity, and more importantly, there's more compassion.
And how does Capital One support you in prioritizing your health and finding joy?
Just getting to the brass tacks, right? Like Capital One provides me with really great benefits, right? Like healthcare, right? And what we know is that low incomes and the lack of quality healthcare are significant risk factors in disease and well-being and life expectancy. Secondly, I love that Capital One has prioritized this notion of investing in yourself, this day of investing in yourself. which I believe provides a wonderful opportunity to do a number of different things, from connecting with your colleagues and prolonged workouts at the gym, having that extra opportunity to walk Barrington around the block maybe 2 or 3 extra times, right? And the opportunity to, more importantly, reflect on my mission, my vision, and my plan goals. So what Invest in Yourself does is it allows the employee to focus on the human being and not the human doing. And to that end, I'm extremely grateful to have an organization that sees the value in its people and investing in them.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, with the work that you do, how does your work with diversity, inclusion, and belonging bring you happiness?
So, I often say that my work in this space is actually my vocation and not my profession. And so having the opportunity to operationalize and to manifest um, your passion and to be compensated for it, to be rewarded for it, is the greatest gift that I've been given, because it helps reassure me that I'm aligned to the mission, and that mission is my calling. And it allows me to do something that I am deeply passionate about and I have a love for.
What are some, have there been any meaningful diversity, inclusion, and belonging projects that you've worked on that have brought you joy?
I think there have been very meaningful responsibilities that I've worked on, right? And one responsibility in particular is the responsibility that I am given as a people leader to support my team, to help develop them, to ensure that we're increasing their inclusion acumen so that they in return can go out and to be the best DIV experts in the enterprise, right? And so it's not so much a project as it is the responsibility of people leading that has been most generative to me in this role at Capital One, and again, one that I'm quite thankful to have.
So tell us about how people can find and prioritize what brings them joy. I'm really looking forward to hearing your answer to this.
No, it's clear, right? Like I did not bury the lead. How do you find and prioritize joy?
And just sitting.
You sit. There is power in sitting. There's power in taking a step back from the noisiness, the busyness, and grounding yourself. Because as I mentioned earlier, it is healing and transformative. And so for individuals who are looking for the solution, sit, be with yourself. Don't run away. Work it out, interrogate, engage. And then from there, allow those insights to create anew. Whatever that new is, allow those insights to inform and influence your path forward.
And is there anything else you want to share about the things that bring you joy?
Have fun. Laugh, smile, be kind, be generous in your time, have compassion, be critical, right? I think that's really important to joy, because that comes with the self-interrogation and the the need to be vigilant and aware at all times about you and what's happening in you and with you and around you that might be informing and influencing how you show up in the decisions that you make. And so I think all of those things are impacted by, or not necessarily impacted by, but inform our sense of joy, our sense of happiness to that end.
Thank you so much, Albert. I've gotten so much from this conversation. I can see firsthand how you are definitely driving change at Capital One.